Good morning, students. Today we will try to understand what are voluntary actions. These are the actions which need thinking and are performed knowingly. That is, are controlled by conscious thoughts like speaking to a friend, writing a letter, etc. Now, voluntary actions are those which are under our control. Okay. Now, we perform these functions knowingly. It is within our knowledge. For example, writing, it is under our control. Or speaking, it is under our control. Or walking, it is under our control. So these are all voluntary actions. Involuntary actions are opposite to the voluntary. These are not under our control. These are not under the control of the will of an individual and are automatic response to a stimulus which is not under the voluntary. That is what I told you. For example, heartbeat. Can we control the rate of the heartbeat? No. It is involuntary. Can we control the breathing rate? Definitely not. So these all come under involuntary action. These are performed unknowingly. They are not controlled by us. Reflex action. It is defined as an unconscious, automatic, unconscious means without our knowledge, automatic and involuntary response of effectors, that is muscles and glands, to a stimulus which is monitored through the spinal cord. In reflex action, remember, it is controlled by the spinal cord. Here, brain does not come into the picture. Brain is not regulating the activities. It is the spinal cord and it is an involuntary automatic response. Now, this response is acted upon the effector. Effector can be a particular gland or a muscle. Gland is nothing but an organ which brings about a secretion. And I have already told you what is a stimulus. Stimulus is nothing but any change in the external environment. And the whole process is monitored through the spinal cord. Advantages of reflex action. It enables a body to give responses to a harmful stimuli and thus protects our body. For example, when we are touching a hot object, a very common example. Now, the impulses, the body cannot wait for the brain to send a response. By then, the receptor cells will be damaged or it will cause damage to the skin. So, it approaches a shortcut. Instead of sending it to the brain, it sends it to the spinal cord so that immediate response can be brought about. It minimizes the overloading of brain. Let's try to understand the mechanism of reflex action. The receptors are present on our skin. Receptors are nothing but cells or group of cells. Now from the receptors are connected to the sensory neuron. Now the sensory neuron is taken to the spinal cord. This is the spinal cord. From the spinal cord, here we see there is a relay neuron. Relay neuron connects the sensory nerve to the motor neuron. From the motor neuron, it finally reaches the effector. Effector can be a muscle or a gland. Now, this is in case of responses that need immediate action. Otherwise, what is the normal route that is taken? From sensory neuron, it is taken to the brain. From the brain, the impulses are brought back to the motor neuron, finally to the muscle or a gland, that is nothing but the effector. This is in case when immediate response is not needed. And reflex action takes place when immediate action is required.